Gundam.tk presents High Grade M1 Astray. Hey again everybody, it's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs from Gundam Reviews.net, and Char's got nothing to do with this, but Freedom certainly does, because Gundam Seed fans certainly have to be happy with this being the 10th anniversary of the anime, because not only does it mean reissues and improvements on the high grade kits, but it means all new ones as well, just like this high grade M1 Astray. June 2012 release, 1400 yen. And here's the name bar with some pretty cool looking cover art there, very red, and in the re-release one, this is number 16 from Gundam Seed and Bandai. So it's been a long wait for this kit, as you can see Strike in the original 5 Gundams there with Justice, Freedom, and then the 3 bad guys at the end. You've got the high-grade red frame, blue frame, Providence, and then you're going to have a mobile Shigu to go along with the IWSP from the MSV line, but you'll notice that there was no M1 Astray, which means it's been a 10-year wait, and I'm sure there's a lot of fan of grunt suits that are quite happy to have this, not to mention fan of the cute pilots. In all good Gundam wars, all sides are going to need their grunts, whether it's the Jim or the Zakus, or in this case, whether you've got your Strike Daggers or your Jins. In this case, Orm had the M1 Astray, and it was informed by the red frame and the blue frame and the gold frame and all that stuff. But basically, Kira was the one who helped put them all together, and something that's a lot of fun about this is not only did the pilots show up in the anime, they had a few good scenes there once they arrived in Orb, but they also showed up in the Gundam Astray manga, so if you want to go check out even more of those 3 pilots, that's another place you can see them. For the box tour, I'm going to start on the right side here, and you can see the front and back of the M1 Astray. This is going to be painted by a pro, so it's going to be better than what you're going to see out of the box. Very familiar shield to the Duel and the Strike there, and it's looking very red frame-ish, but just a little bit more gruntified. It's the back that where things are going to be interesting with those thrusters there. You can see black, gray, and red. I wonder how many of those are going to be recreated in plastic and how many of those are just painted up. Some big swords down there, which I'll talk about in a minute. The backpack is going to have some movable parts there, which are looking cool in terms of thrusters, but it's the overall posability there. You can see that the knees are going to bend and expose all sorts of red, which is very fitting of any suit that follows up on the red frame. And the waist is going to be able to move as well. And they talk about for the plastic model that they created these anti-sword ships, which are looking pretty good and they can attach onto the side armor. You can guess though that they're going to show some gray, red, and white, that they probably won't have all of that out of the box. You're also going to have the regular beam sabers there, 2 of them as its main hand-to-hand weapon there in the anime. The beam rifle's looking good, and like with most of these re-releases, are going to be including some very cool marking seals. You can put some numbers on depending on which one of the girls is your favorite, and if you want to use an action base too. Aerial poses are going to look pretty good, and this one is probably unpainted here. And you can see that the thrusters aren't going to have as much details, and it's going to be a little bit plainer, but still looking pretty good. Obviously a 2012 as opposed to a 2002 release. To the other side, where from the fiery flames, the Gundam Unicorn / Strike steps out and goes to battle there. HD Remaster Project is looking fantastic overall if you've been able to check it out online or in Blu-ray. And here you get to see some shots from the anime. There they are fighting on the ground. They were an all-purpose suit. And the stats there, the most interesting one is the head height of 17.53 meters there. And through their brave fighting, I think they made a lot of fans, so why don't you let me know what you think of those 3? Are they worthy of a high-grade kit? Or is this just here to add to your grunt army, or is it actually based on the personalities? Inside the box we go, where you're going to see the A-plate there in all white it looks like, with some beam sabers, lots of seals, red and gray, which is a little bit discouraging. Polycaps there, some red parts, including some big ones there for the thrusters on the back. More white, more red, A2, so you're going to have some 1.5 plates, some cool looking decals there, and a very black plate of black, which is looking very good. This is very different from how it would have been in 2002 if it had been released then. More similar to the Blitz of today than to that Blitz, and some little bit of gray there on the D plate to go along with the manual. To the A1 and A2 plate, which are 1.5 plates, and you can see that you're going to have the legs, or the white part, that's on top of the red frame, and the nice looking sword there, although it is going to be just white all the way. Good channels there if you do want to go ahead. It's actually raised up, so you could tape that off and paint it pretty well. The same thing for the handles there if you want to make those gray. You've got your beam saber handles down there, and then in terms of the important stuff, you're going to have a big waist section there, some cool looking shoulders, a lower front face mask, which is looking pretty good, and the inside of a shield. And just to show you the other side, you can see that you're going to pop apart onto there. And for the face, you're going to have the top and bottom, so you're also going to have the face mask molded in the same color. Or sorry, you're just going to have a front and back there for the face, and so you're going to have to line that up if you really want to bring this guy alive. Here's B1 and B2 with some funky looking shapes over there. Again, it's labeled M1 Astray, however. So you can see over here that you're going to have the tops of the feet and some other interesting looking parts there for the inner frame, which actually for a high grade here is going to be very important, as it should be for anything that's got a color in front of the word frame. Over here you've got the thrusters looking very V2-ish and very large there. You've got a big part there, and you're going to see that they're hollow on the back, and also these ones, and you've also got a very nice looking V-fin here that seems to be attached on separate along with that face there, and for the inside of the chest, which is looking cool for the neck and waist. The C-plate though brings a little bit of disappointment because when you look at the largest part, it's that shield there, and fans of Strike and Duel are going to be very familiar with that. It's identical, except for the fact that you're going to have big seals that you're going to have to put on if you want to get the red, and red there for the bottom part of the Crusader Cross there. In terms of the other parts, you can see that you're going to have 4 sets of manipulators there, some cool looking parts there for the chest that are going to have some good hollow areas that are going to show the red well. You've also got these parts there with a little part extending up, and a beam rifle there that's going to look all black, and I have to say that the choice of black instead of gray is going to set this guy apart from most grunt suits. I wondered about the thrusters from the painted images on the box, but you are going to get some parts here, 2 of them in fact, and they are going to look pretty good no matter how you say it, because instead of being seals, this is by far the way to go, and Bandai did that extra trouble because you've got these waist parts here, which are going to help bring this guy to life. So when you've got the white, the red, the black, and the gray, all of a sudden for a high grade, 4 colors, really nothing to sneeze at. And the plastic parts wrap up with PC-001 and SB6, the round beam sabers. I haven't looked up where all of these are going to go, but just when you see this many this many stickers, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. Then again, if you think about it from 2002, it's pretty much to be expected. We've got some camera lenses there and some scope there, the eyes, you've got some red parts. A lot of these gray parts are going to go on the thrusters, it looks like, and aforementioned, these red parts there are going to provide the parts for the shield. But for this re-release line, although you can't really count the M1 Astray as being a re-release, anyway, you're going to be getting some cool looking orb decals there that you can take and put on, and you're also going to get the numbers, so if you wanted to look up your favorite girl, you can just put on the appropriate number for her MS. That's some pretty cool looking cover art, I'd say, although the solid color in the background is not necessarily the best, although it is going to catch your eye on shelves when you see these R kits. There's the name down there, and when you crack it open inside, you're going to have some color splash pages there. Looking good, you can see the gray in the waist. The beam rifle is going to be black, not the gray that it seems to be there. And in the back of the thrusters here, they're going to be showing the backpack. Again, a lot of those details are going to come out with seals. And here you can see some images from the anime, and a nice shot of the 3 of them all together. And there's the pilots down there, 211, 212, and 213. So Julie there is at 213. Here you can see it with the swords in hand, which is a nice bonus here for the plastic model. Painted up, you can see that that shield is going to be certainly catching your eye, probably not so much with the seals on there. And there's the details. You can see that there's a lot of gray on the back that's going to have to be provided by stickers. Taking a look at the inside, you can see that the plates don't look all that large. You could call that almost 3 full plates in terms of actual how much plastic is in there. And after you put together the chest and the arms and the head and the legs, you can put that all together. The swords actually are going to have 2 parts on there. I didn't see that earlier, so that's cool. They're both from the A-plate though, so they should all be the same color, unfortunately. They could have gone white and red, and did not do that. And down there you can see the way that the shield is going to put on it, or attach onto the arm. It looks like it's got 2 positions there, which is going to work out well, and then just swap out the manipulators to get the shield on. And you can put the beam rifle onto the shield and plug that into the back of the thruster, although it's a little bit awkward and off to the side. Before you go to the back, and you get some nice painted images there. And here is an unpainted one, action display and marking seals. They're showing the 3 of them. You can see that the colors may just look a little bit dull there, although they do certainly look good in that pose there with all 3 of them together. And if you painted it up and took the extra time, I'm sure you could make this guy shine, especially considering how cool all the posability is for a high grade. So from the unbox alone, I've got to say that I'm pretty pleased with this, although at the same time, having built a lot of high grade age kits lately, you can just see the way that they're getting a really good synergy in terms of getting the anime and the plastic models on the same page, so that what they're animating can be recreated inexpensively in high-grade form. With these ones, not so much. You can see that the seals are going to have to be done. However, at the same time, people are just going to be happy that we have an M1 Astray after 10 years, so stick around to see the parts and then see it all put together, and see if it's something that you might want to go out and just add 3 to your shelf. Anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think with a comment down below, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Wajo Junk Guild, she's a spy.